I didn't tell them, but I had like their sounds of their instruments in my mind, their personalities. I think that's where everything comes together. Most of the time, I'm always just gathering materials. I have hundreds of making voice materials I've recorded. I listen to them. I don't know what they are. I never label them. I got to do something. I have definitely enough files. Think about it. All of this material that I should make something. Put them. Of course, you can put them in any order, but start cutting. You get these combinations of things that you never would putting next to each other. Especially if you layer them, it changes depending on what comes before it or after, how you sort of remove the context. Some people talking about a new one. Some overheard. That's really kind of a magical process, a magical whatever thing to see. Some bird squawking. Connections between all these different moments that were spontaneous. This is genius. Like this is amazing. Organize this little film into different categories. It goes on. It's like 50 seconds, and it's just perfect. Folders, like one might be animals, and one might be. This is so boring. 50 seconds, roads or nature. This is maybe 5 seconds. Funny things or surreal things. This is like really the only essential thing. Buildings or cities or something. I have these categories, maybe 10 categories between the beginning and the final product, and some that are just seem like they're already finished in its original form. 30 seconds that. There's really not going to be anything that can. And the more I watch it, the more impatient I become, and the more I try to think. After this, if I was just, if I was my dad, would I want to be? Would I watch this? There's no. Would I get bored? Would I start coughing? Story. I guess it kind of starts to emerge. It sounds. But it emerges pretty quickly. To say intuition, but that's kind of just how I go through life. By the time I press record, it's really almost too late. You know, it's already happened. Most of the time, there's no plan. Sometimes it blossoms and something else happens, but I love this place. I'm just going to sit here until there's some cool shadows and reflections where people are like walking into each other and to buy popcorn. And I happen to have my camera, and I happen. But there's no reason for that. Wild and ridiculous, or really cool and dreamy. That always, since the beginning, was just like the sound and the sensation of like this popping. So, this is cool. Even if it's just on big waves in the ocean, be on my phone, like the fingertips. It's not with any intention. I can remember being a kid, let's say a 3-year-old Brian, maybe it's when my memories begin, is being in the bathtub and just kind of just documenting that fingertip spark of whatever happened. And that's also 47-and-a-half-year-old Brian. It's still that's yeah, I don't know if it really ever comes. I don't really think there's really much of a story. Probably the first time I touched water was with the feet. Oh, this means something to me. Being able to probably held by the hand with my dad into the ocean. I'm not thinking this is that it's cold. This is about something, and someone else needs to understand that it's about trying to taking a few steps into it. Well, yeah. But I'm saying I don't like meaning. Just excitement and happy, yeah, like pure joy. Since then, I just react more towards pretty much wherever we've lived. There's been water, different, right immediately there. Something different. And it's always been something. I don't like the feeling of being manipulated, and I don't want to try to manipulate someone else. It's mysterious. I don't really like to look at. I don't really like looking too much at fish and these creatures that are really, really deep. When I go back to Texas, that'll be the nightly thing. Like if I'm walking, if I'm in the ocean, so to see, and I can walk, and image already is creating below my chin, and everything's cool, and suddenly the water's over my head. Food also has like there's no place where I can touch bottom involved. I'm a little bit concerned, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm afraid because I can swim. A form where you can put a lot of stuff on top, and you can play it in different ways. I like this idea of just what kind of moving objects and placing them in a certain way enhance the taste of something sweet or something opening cold, my bag, dessert or salty. Okay, food. Let's see. Like let's see what I've got. I want to see everything that I just bought. They roll around. They just like continue. They're always in motion. They're all these experiences kind of bouncing off of each other, of the wall. They don't seem to be particularly well balanced, and it doesn't matter. They just sort of go with the flow, and that's entertaining to them,